Hello my scrappy friends, big welcome to my channel again today. It's Melinda with you, and I have got another share for the Traci Reed Designs team. Today I am playing along with Sketchy Sunday. I don't know, it's not even sketchy. I'm playing along with Scraplift Saturday. I'll get it right, shall I? And today we are scraplifting Traci, aka a boss lady. So obviously I love Traci's work, otherwise I would never have applied to be on her team. So needless to say, this was a bit of a hard decision to begin with, but when I found the page that I wanted to lift, the page came together pretty quickly and easily for me. I did show you the page that I'm lifting right at the beginning of the video. Traci did it in a traveler's notebook size, which is everything that she does pretty much, I think. But what she'd done was she had 2 3x4 photos. I think they were that size, and she had a big quote as as her title, and it was different fonts. There was some stamping in it, as well as some fonts, different like alphabet stickers, and I thought I would kind of duplicate that. I really loved the whole sentiment behind her layout as well. It's about being true to yourself, rather than embracing the fakeness of some of the things that are around at the moment, you know, like filters that make you look who you are not. So for this one I thought I would go with a bit of a sentimental layout, with a long mixed font title, 2 3x4 photos, and then on the 2 corners of the photos she's got floral clusters, so I embraced that as well. And obviously I'm working on a 12x12 page here. I am using the My Person collection. I love this collection so much, so I was very excited when I was like, I know what collection I can use for this. And I've printed, actually I already had this background printed, and then as I was going through my cardstock stash I found this perfect, it's a greyish brown, I'm going to call it. It's quite a unique colour. It's not craft, which is what I originally thought. The craft was totally the wrong colour. It is a greyish brown, so that is what I'm using. And I've pulled out some rose gold accents, and what I was just doing on my background was some rose gold glaze by Vicky Booten with some water, and just adding splatters to my background with that. And I'd also done some stitching. I managed to find thread in exactly the same colour as the greyish brown that I've got for my background. It's actually a really pretty colour. It's not something I would normally go for, but I actually really like it. So I'm embracing it. I did specifically go out and buy thread so I could do this page, but I've used it again since. I did decide to add some inking it to my layers. Now I'm not going to use stamping in my title like Traci did, but I am going to add some stamping to my background, as a nod to the stamping that Traci's done on her page. So I'm using the same ink to ink up all the edges of my papers and my embellishments, and then I'm going to come in and do my stamping. I just put my background aside to dry while those splatters dried off, and now that is dry, and I'm going to come back and start working on all my layers. I wanted to make sure this was like, I don't want to say it's exactly central because I know me too well, but I did want to make sure it was fairly close to central. So you can see I've used my T-square ruler, and I have marked out where the 2 photos are going to sit. I did take away the paper layers so that I knew that my pencil lines would be hidden behind all the layers. And I've got this background stamp from my stash. I'm using that same ink, and you can see I'm just I added some stamping up to the top right hand corner. My head was in the way for most of that stamping, so I did decide to just chop that part out and leave this bit in. But exactly what I'm doing down the bottom here is exactly what I did up the top, but obviously in a different area. This ink is kind of a greenish grey, but it works really well with the colours in this collection. It's really it's so close to the brownish grey that I'm using as well, which I was just like, wow, that's a spin out. So I'm going to start by sticking down that paper that I've used to back behind my photos, and I've only used the one paper behind my photo. I'm going to pop my photo up on some cardboard and then stick that down, and then I can stick my flowers on different layers and give the page some dimension and interest. So my photos and that photo mat are all stuck down, and I'm going to work on my title here. The quote that I ended up using is, "Boys, you will outgrow my lap, but never my heart." I thought that was really sweet. These two photos were actually taken on a summer's day while we were out and about, I think in 2020 from memory. But I didn't really have a story to go with them. They were just cute photos of my babies. And so I thought this would be a nice sentiment to go with these couple of photos. So you can see I'm just laying those out again using my T-square ruler to get the line straight. So there's the first part. On Traci's page, the first half of the title is on one side and the second half is on the other side. Because she's working on two different pages on a double page in a traveller's notebook, it worked for her. I feel like it worked for her to have the beginning of her quote on the bottom of the page, whereas because I'm working on one page, I felt like it worked better for my quote to begin on the left. So I have flipped like her photos at the top left and the bottom right, and mine's obviously the other way around. I decided that I would use some thread to add a different texture to the layers here, and so I'm just tucking some of that same thread into the bottom corner here. And it's funny, I ended up covering up most of the stamping, but that's okay. I think at the beginning of the video I showed you me laying out the photos and how I wanted them to look. I did take a photo of those and then look at that photo when I started sticking them down. And you can see I'm just adding a little bit of glue and placing them. I'm going to go back through, so I'm going to get these original ones all stuck down, and then I don't make you watch all of that because it's not that exciting. You can see I'm tucking some underneath the thread, some above the thread, some on top of the photo, some between the layers. So at this point here, this is everything that I had to start with. And so now I'm going to add in a few extra flowers and things. So it's just a matter of playing with the ones that I've got printed. The flowers and leaves that I'm using are actually from the embellishments in this collection as well. So again, that was the element that I chose to print from this collection when I first printed it. The florals, I love them, they're so cute. So I'm just going to so I either have to trim off the white border that I printed them with and stick them down, or I think that all of them need the border, I think they all needed to be properly trimmed out, and then I've added ink and I've stuck them down. I felt like I needed something down here. I couldn't work out what, so you can see I'm playing with some of the other florals that I've got here. And I found these ones. I thought, yes, they'll be perfect. You can see that one is already cut out around the actual floral lines, and then the other one isn't yet. But I'm really happy with the placement and look of those. I like the depth that it gives, and I like the pop of that darker colour that it adds as well. I'm going to add those in, and then you can see here I'm just adding a little pop dot, and I do go through both of the clusters and add some pop dots under some of the florals and leaves, and you can see the top right is done as well, so that is both of those floral clusters done. I ended up with more thread on the top right cluster. So I've gone back in and added a little tangle of thread to some of the top layers on the bottom, and I've just used a little bit of glue to stick that in place so it doesn't all fall out. I felt that my title was a little bit lopsided here, so I'm playing with a few different bits and pieces. Hearts, rainbows. I do end up using a rainbow, not any of the ones that I've pulled out though. So these ones I have, these ones are the jelly ones. They're so cute. Again, they're from the embellishments, and I end up using one, I think that is one of the stickers. Yeah, that's just it's from one of the sticker sheets, but I feel like I needed a bit more green, so this one worked perfectly. Gonna add some foam behind that. Stick that one down. No, I forgot to stick that one down, and I went to lift it off and went, oh, it fell off. I wanted a little bit of something extra, so I found this heart to go down the bottom. I'm going to tuck that one just in there. Then I played with a few different bits and pieces, and I found the matching heart, but in a bigger size, up to the top right. Just trim off that white border. I don't know if it's just my machine, but a lot of the time it cuts not quite exactly on the line. If you have the same thing happen, were you able to change it so it cut exactly where you wanted it, or not? Or any tips on how to get it to cut in, more of the right place for me? So yeah, I just trimmed off the white border, and I'm going to go in and stick this one down with some pop dots, just in that floral cluster there. Sorry for my head. And then the background and the foreground kind of felt really separated to me, so I'm going to add some more splatters. I start with the rose gold glaze, which I've just added some water to. I'm using a paintbrush to make it liquid, and I'm just going to splatter that, cover up my photos. I just use my hand and just add some splatters over the top layers there, just so it kind of all looks like it all belongs together. Happy with that. Then I'm going to come in with some of that grey ink as well. I think it's called Smoky Slate or something. And then add some of those splatters as well. And that is going to finish the page up. Yes, that's the last thing that I do. I really love this layout. I love the sentiment behind it. I had so much fun lifting Traci's page. Like I said, I really, really love what she created. I will leave another photo of her creation just after this. And you can enjoy the still photos. Make sure you head over to Traci's blog so you can see all of the other design team members have decided to lift of Traci's. I'm sure that there's going to be some amazing layouts there. As always, thank you ever so much for stopping by and choosing to spend your scrappy time with me, and I look forward to my next share with you all. Have a fantastic scrappy day.